This is All India Radio. Please stand by for our next program.
This is All India Radio. You will now hear comments from the press. The Indian Express, in its editorial titled Coal Comfort, says, in a welcome move, the Union Cabinet has relaxed the regulations for coal mining in India. The ordinance amends the existing provision that allowed only companies engaged in iron and steel, power, coal washing sectors, and others to bid for coal mines. Now, all end-use restrictions have been removed, easing the entry of companies not engaged in any coal use industry in coal mining. Moreover, existing private owners will now be able to sell their surplus coal in the market. The removal of these restrictions is in line with the objective of facilitating commercial coal mining in the country. India is one of the largest coal producers in the world, with an output of 729 million tons in 2018-19. However, despite sluggish economic growth, import shipments have surged from 190 million ton in 2016-17 to 235 million ton in 2018-19. In value terms, imports touched $26.18 billion in 2018-19, up from $15.76 billion in 2016-17. The relaxation in regulations, along with previous initiatives such as allowing 100% foreign direct investment through the automatic route in commercial coal production, can aid in boosting coal production in the country and help reduce imports. It will also encourage private players to participate in the auctions that are to be held to reallocate the captive coal blocks that were cancelled by the Supreme Court in 2014. So far, only 29 of the 204 blocks that were cancelled have been auctioned. Production from captive coal blocks had fallen to 25.1 million tons in financial year 2019, down from 43.2 million tons in 2015. With these measures, the government is also facilitating the entry of major global mining players such as Rio Tinto and BHP Billiton, which can help bring in the latest technologies for raising productivity. The Hindustan Times, in its editorial titled US-Iran Pull Back from the Brink, writes, the United States, US, and Iran have been aggressively jostling each other the past few years, especially in Iraq. The Iranian siege of the US Embassy in Baghdad and the assassination of Al-Quds commander Qasem Soleimani both crossed red lines. Fortunately, neither an isolationist US President Donald Trump nor a Tehran regime struggling with economic recession were interested in a full-fledged confrontation. Still, another violent entanglement cannot be ruled out. Nothing has been resolved, including what exactly constitutes a step too far for either country. India is inextricably linked to the most unstable region in the world for reasons of finance, energy, and geography. No one is strong enough to have their own way, but no one is prepared to accept this reality. The US-Iran relationship, poisoned by nearly 4 decades of confrontation and miscalculation, is particularly dangerous. Mr. Trump is curiously in alignment with Iran's overall goal to end the US military presence in the Gulf, but he is also determined to ensure the US is not humiliated as it withdraws. India cannot play mediator given neither the US nor Iran have shown real interest in such a role, but there is a place for a messenger. New Delhi is in a position to talk to both countries. At the least, it should investigate whether there is mutual interest in India playing such a role. The idea is not peacemaking, but mistake avoidance. And for India, it is about gambling some diplomatic capital to have some say in the greatest external risk to its future. Economic Times, in its editorial titled Tweak the Norms for Renewable Power, writes, the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy has issued draft norms for supply of round-the-clock power from renewable energy or RE projects complemented with thermal generation. The idea is to address the intermittency of supply from solar or wind power, integrate RE into the electricity grid, and policy-induce efficiency gains in generation and supply. The draft counts solar, wind, small hydro, or a combination thereof as RE. Last March, the Union Cabinet had declared a large hydropower projects as an RE source, and power from such plants now are part of renewable purchase obligation of distribution companies. The norms also say that the complemented power from non-RE sources is coal-based thermal power. But why? The effort now is to prioritize natural gas as the fuel for peak load plants. We also need to boost pumped storage for hydropower. Given current high costs of power storage and more variable generation from RE plants, greater supply flexibility is needed for grid stability.